The NBA offseason is officially right around the corner, with pretty much every team already preparing for it with their seasons being over, and of course, this time of the year always comes with plenty of rumors and smoke flying left and right. Big-name star players in the NBA always seem to make headlines because of the potential of them either finding a new team or recruiting others to join them where they are, and while some of these rumors do end up actually happening, a large majority of the time, they prove to be rumors and nothing more. This brings us to what we'll be discussing in this video, as today I'll be going over the 4 biggest rumors on the NBA rumor mill right now, and I'll be determining whether there is actually something there, or if we need to call BS on it. Before we start though, it turns out a good amount of you watching right now aren't even subscribed to the channel, so if you enjoy the content, then consider hitting the subscribe button, as not only does it help out a ton, but I also very much appreciate it. Now with that being said, let's begin. The first rumor we'll be analyzing is one that actually just broke this week, being that apparently Kyrie Irving is trying to convince LeBron James to team up with him and Luka Doncic in Dallas, and my verdict is that I am going to have to call BS on it. Kyrie Irving was traded to Dallas at the trade deadline this season, and the hope was that he and Luka Doncic could form a scary and dominant duo together to make a deep playoff run. Instead, the team's defense fell off a cliff, they couldn't get their chemistry down in time, and the season ended in disaster, missing the playoffs and play-in tournament altogether. Kyrie is now a free agent, and while it's by no means a guarantee that he will re-sign with the Mavericks, the Mavs do hold his bird rights, meaning they can offer him more money than any other team on the market, and from everything that I've seen, they fully plan to do exactly that. Kyrie knows this, he's by no means a fool. I think this rumor popping up shows that he knows his best option is to stay in Dallas, and him and LeBron have seemingly been trying to get a reunion going for a while. With that being said though, I am still fully calling BS on this rumor. There are only 2 real ways that this could even happen, and neither are realistic whatsoever. The first way is via a trade, and to put it simply, the Mavericks do not have anything of value that would even come close to making the Lakers consider accepting a trade, besides Luka Doncic, and that's obviously not happening. The second way is if the Lakers bought out LeBron's contract, allowing him to hit free agency, which again, the Lakers have zero reason to do whatsoever. Now, while I did call BS on this specific rumor, I do actually think this means that there is a real possibility that Kyrie Irving could end up signing with the Lakers in free agency. Obviously, if LeBron and Kyrie are talking about playing with each other, then they will realize that the Lakers are both a better situation currently and a more realistic landing spot, as the Lakers have money to spend this summer, admittedly not as much as the Dallas Mavericks can offer. If I was a Mavericks fan, this report would actually make me kind of nervous, so we'll have to stay tuned for what is to come. The next offseason rumor we'll be analyzing today is that James Harden is planning to leave the 76ers in free agency to sign with the Houston Rockets, and my verdict is that there is definitely something there. This has been the one smoking gun that keeps popping up on the NBA rumor mill since the very beginning of the season. James Harden entered Philadelphia in good spirits, hoping to finally get his chance to contend for a title alongside Joel Embiid, but in 2 seasons with the team, they've been eliminated from the playoffs in the second round both times. Harden himself had quite a roller coaster of a postseason this year too, as some games he looked like his prime self taking over and delivering a win, and then somehow the very next game, he could look like he completely forgot how to play the sport, shooting terribly and committing way too many costly turnovers. Harden, when speaking to the public, has always emphasized that his number 1 priority moving forward is being in the situation that gives him the best chance to win, but privately, every single report that has come out has said something conflicting with that. The first big one dropped around Christmas time when Adrian Wojnarowski reported that Harden would have interest in returning home to Houston if things did not work out in Philadelphia, and that connection was continually reported on throughout the season. Harden also took a slight pay cut this season to allow the Sixers to sign PJ Tucker to the squad and go all in on winning, so the feeling is that Harden is not interested in taking taking another pay cut. The issue, though, is that the 76ers do not believe that Harden is worth a full max contract extension anymore, especially after how inconsistent his play in the playoffs was. The Rockets, meanwhile, have the money to offer Harden a full max contract extension in free agency, and the fact that he still has a ton of family and business ventures there makes it easy to see him going, even if it means he's abandoning his realistic quest for a championship. Part of me thinks Harden could just be using his connection to Houston as leverage in contract negotiations to make the 76ers offer him more money when the time comes. But if the Sixers don't budge from their current position, then Harden may just choose happiness and money in Houston over sacrifice and pressure in Philadelphia. The next rumor we'll be analyzing is that Jalen Brown wants out of the Boston Celtics, and my verdict on this one is also that it is some BS. Jalen Brown just had his best season as a pro, but after the way it ended, you would never have guessed based on the way that he's been discussed by fans and the media alike. He was named an All-Star and to second-team All-NBA this year, but he admittedly struggled a bit in the series against the Miami Heat in the conference finals when they got eliminated, and now he's going into the last season of his current contract with a lot of question marks. There was also a decent amount of tension between him and Boston near the end of the regular season when he called out Celtics fans in one interview and said in some other interviews that his future in Boston is, quote, not up to him, and that, I also quote, we'll see how they feel about me over time, and I feel about them over time. Hopefully, whatever it is, it makes sense. But I will stay where I'm wanted. I will stay where I'm needed and treated correct, end quote. It doesn't take a genius to read between the lines in that quote, as he probably doesn't feel fully valued by the organization. Brown's name has been included in trade proposals in each of the last 2 seasons, most notably in an offer that would have brought Kevin Durant to Boston, but when you hear things like that, of course you're going to feel a bit betrayed by your organization. However, none of those deals ended up happening, and the reality is that the Celtics are still in a pretty good spot. They've been in 4 of the past 6 conference finals, with an NBA Finals appearance in there as well. They're right there on the cusp of breaking through. The core they have right now is good enough to compete with anyone, and with Brown still being 26 years old and Jason Tatum still being 24 years old, the team knows that they have time. Obviously, $295 million is a lot of money to give him in a contract extension, but I do ultimately believe the Celtics will end up paying him that contract extension to keep him in Boston and continue building on the successes they've already accomplished. And finally, the last big offseason rumor we'll be analyzing is that the Charlotte Hornets are going to choose Brandon Miller over Scoot Henderson in the draft, and my verdict is that there is something there. The NBA draft is going down at the end of this month, and as it approaches, fans are turning their attention to the next generation of stars. Victor Wembanyama is the clear-cut number 1 pick, but after that, most, myself included, view Scoot Henderson as the second best player available, yet the Hornets, who own the second overall pick, seem to disagree. They're in a weird spot because their franchise player LaMelo Ball, like Scoot Henderson, is a point guard, and they clearly have hesitations about those two fitting in together in the lineup. The team's biggest current need is on the wing, especially with Gordon Hayward entering the last year of his contract, and Brandon Miller is also very highly regarded in draft circles and happens to be the best wing player available. Me personally, I always believe it's best to draft the best talent available no matter what, and drafting for fit is how franchise-hampering mistakes get made. But while I disagree with the mindset that they have, I do believe these rumors wholeheartedly. ESPN draft analysts who were at the NBA Draft Combine said that the feeling amongst other executives and scouts was that the Hornets preferred Miller over Henderson, and it tells me that they still firmly believe in LaMelo Ball's potential. Henderson is a ridiculous athlete. He has an NBA-ready body that he uses to finish strong through contact. His perimeter shot creation and playmaking took big strides this year, and he impacts the game on both ends. So I don't see why the team wouldn't just have both LaMelo and Henderson share the backcourt together. But we're not the ones in charge there, so Miller, despite the off-the-court baggage that he comes with, is the one heavily in play at number 2. And with that being said, that's all I have for you today. Make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about these rumors and whether or not you actually believe them. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.